Heart disease is a silent killer, with 1 in 4 people in America falling victim to it. And according to the Centers for Disease Control, what if there was a way to catch the game ender before you felt the symptoms and before it was too late to address it? Well, Dr. John Pierce is here. He is from Preventative Diagnostic Center, along with his patient, Eric Love, joining us this morning. Doctor, welcome back on the show.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to hear what you have going on over at Preventative. Tell us what you're doing.
Well, what we're doing is we're doing preventative scans. We have this really neat CT scanner, right? So it comes from Germany. Siemens is the company. The Somatom Go All scanner basically can scan from the thyroid or just below the chin all the way down to the groin, and we can evaluate 22 different organ systems and see kind of if there's anything going on that shouldn't be going on and catch things a lot earlier than what traditional medicine would catch them with labs or a physical exam or something along those lines.
That's the name, Preventative Diagnostic Center.
Absolutely.
I think we have a look at the scanner as well. Now, you called it neat, but actually it's very unique as well, because I think the nearest scanner of its kind is what, up in Northern California?
Yeah, I think in Palo Alto, right?
Yeah.
So, and what's really unique about it, I say neat, but is the fact that when a patient gets in there, and Eric and I were just talking about this, right? It can evaluate the individual and it gives them the lowest dose, the effective dose of radiation. So like he was looking at his scan and his wife's scan, he's like, wait, what's this number? How come mine's higher than hers? Well, he's got more density than his wife, right? So it had to give him a little bit more radiation, but gave her a little bit less.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it
so
was based on volume or mass. That's very interesting. So you learned some things going through this scan. Eric, you went through the scan, your wife as well, just recently.
Absolutely, just recently. And the primary reason for us is my wife is a cancer survivor, Hodgkin's lymphoma. And we were lucky at the time to be in a situation where we got ahead of it, got out front of it, and stayed there, and now she's here. I can't imagine my life without her. So tech like this allows us to stay ahead of any sort of illness. It's one thing to leave things to chance.
Oh, look at you guys!
That's
you look great.
That's not in our forte. We'd like to basically take charge of our healthcare, just like other facets of our life. So,
I just have to point out, Eric, you have really great taste in sweaters, because you have a nice sweater on there, and look at you coming in our studio.
I was just making that same comparison. So.
I'm sorry to change the subject.
Thank you.
Now, you mentioned that your wife was a cancer survivor. We've talked about heart health. We're referring to a few different things. What exactly does the scan test for? How many different conditions or diseases?
Well, it's hard to put a number on a particular thing because we're just looking at the whole system. So we can look at the aorta, the main blood vessel from the heart, and see if it's dilated. So that's an aortic aneurysm, and you can have degrees of that. Now, typically when somebody shows up to the emergency room with an aortic aneurysm, it's too late, right? So same thing with the heart. We're looking at that calcium score. We can see if there's buildup in the coronary arteries. And in some instances, as we spoke with our patient last week, Linda, who had a calcium score that was a little bit high, she went and had a stent placed, right? So they went and evaluated that a step further and said, geez, you could use a stent, right? I heard about another patient who had a higher calcium score, and he took the information to the cardiologist, and this cardiologist was a little bit more cavalier and said, think you'll be fine, don't worry about it. And within a very short window, unfortunately, the patient suffered a heart attack. Now, he survived that heart attack, but we did the scan and we said there could potentially be a problem. You need to get a little further workup. Go to your primary care physician, your cardiologist, and allow them to do a further workup if they deem necessary. And so we have two different cases, one where the cardiologist was a little bit more proactive, and one was a little bit more cavalier, and unfortunately, he did have that heart attack. Fortunately, he survived, but what was the long-term damage of the heart that may have been prevented? And that's just a rhetorical question, we don't know, but that's why we do these scans, so we can be ahead of the game. Preventative.
Absolutely, preventative medicine.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I think what you're offering people is peace of mind.
Absolutely.
So who is the person that you would recommend that is the best, qualified to come in for this? Who could benefit the most from this scan?
Most of our clients and patients are age 40 to 70.
Okay.
We're living longer now with a lot better quality of life. So somebody who's 60, 70 years old may want to come in because they can do some preventative measures and extend the quality of their life. My whole thing with this is let's stay on top of it because nobody wants to just exist. You want to have good quality of life.
thrive.
Absolutely,
Yeah, man.
thrive. And so if we find something, God forbid, you get in, you address it. Sometimes it needs medical intervention. Sometimes it could be something as simple as diet and exercise, and maybe some supplementation to really mitigate that problem and reduce the risk of that going any further.
I want to present people with your special offer right now, because I know there's some folks out there, their ears are perked. They want to go in like Eric and get that peace of mind. Maybe
Right.
go in as a couple. I know you have a lot of married couples going in. Actually, Sean, my co-host, and I are going in next Wednesday to do one. So your special offer today.
Special offer is we're going to do a heart and lung scan, which will also include that coronary artery calcium score. Okay, so we can evaluate the coronary arteries. We're doing that for $125. It's typically $599, so it's one heck of a deal.
Amazing. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for joining us.
Thank you, JJ.
Yes, a fellow JJ, by the way. You're John, but you
yes.
grew up as JJ. And
did.
Eric, great to have you.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming in. Get peace of mind with technology you'll find at Preventative Diagnostic Center. They are on South Tenaya, just off the 215. Their number, their website, right there on your screen. Preventative Diagnostic Center, a proud sponsor of the Morning Blend.